Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to look at something that is very important, that is very pivotal to any success. It's about mindset of the poor versus the mindset of the rich. Right, it's very important because when I started my property journey, I was always thinking small. I had that poor mentality, saying to myself, I cannot do what I'm doing now. Saying to myself, oh, my accent is horrible. People will not understand the way I speak. And I was just thinking about how I can get a bigger job, better job that I can earn lots of money in. So I had that poor mentality because I was told basically when I was young to go to school, college, university, and get yourself a flipping job. Okay, that's what I've been told. So I had that poor mentality. I never thought about it, but now when I start hanging around with successful people, then I realize, oh, probably I need to do it the opposite. So what I want to do today is to share that wisdom with you, so you can compare the rich and the poor mindset. So if you're having the poor mindset, that will become a trigger for you to be able to change it to a rich mindset. Okay, so the poor always think about a job. They think about where they can get a job so they can earn money. Okay, they always want to get a bigger job so they can earn lots of money. Okay, example, they want to be working in an hourly basis so they can get paid lots of money, or they will go and have an extra job to actually enable them to earn more money. So basically they're working for money. Okay, whereas the rich mindset, what we do basically, we get money to work for us. So what we tend to do basically, we employ people to work for us instead of us working to get the money. So we find people with the skills, knowledge, and experience that would work for us, so that we can release that time and concentrate in whatever investment strategies we are executing, or concentrate in educating ourselves, empowering ourselves, so we can delegate more and get our time used effectively. The second comparison also is the poor wants to get more degrees, right? They want to educate themselves every time. I've seen someone who's got 4 PhDs, okay? And I'm not saying getting an education is wrong, by the way, because I went to university, I had a degree myself. But the poor had a mentality where if you got a degree now, you have to do a master's, and then after master's, you have to do a PhD. After PhD, you want to do something else. They keep going on and on and on and on, trying to get all these sort of things. The rich people look for smart degree holders, people who got PhDs or master's program to go and work for them, so he could implement that and expedite their process. And the third difference is also the poor hide away and avoid problems all the time. They don't want to get involved. They don't want to be part of it. They don't want to really be part of any problems, basically. Whereas we, the rich people, what we do basically, we literally look for problems, right? We look for problems and find a way how we could solve it. For example, in my property investment journey, what I do, I look for landlords who are struggling to rent their properties, right? I go out there and tell them, listen, I know you're struggling renting your property. I can take on your property, and then I can do XYZ with it and give you amazing return on investment. So therefore, you don't have to worry about that property being empty. Or I can find I can find a homeowner who's struggling to actually rent their property, or they don't know what to do with their property. They want to sell it. They don't really know what to do. And then I go there and advise them, find an efficient way and an ethical way to help them sell their property. So again, we're looking for the problems so we can resolve it. We don't shy away from it. The more problems we get, we know the better return we can get from those problems. So because we can serve those people efficiently and also make our returns at the same time. So very important. If you're hiding away from problems, stop doing that, right? Look for the problem, resolve it, and become a problem solver. So all the successful people I know that have been millionaires, billionaires, they're all problem solvers, right? They solve the problems and get you and any other person to actually utilize it and then feel amazing, and they get all the returns. So go out there, look for problems and try to resolve it, okay? The fourth thing that makes difference with the rich and poor is the poor are reactive, right? They're always reactive to the news, or they're reactive to whatever happens in society. Whereas the rich are proactive. They think ahead to understand what's going to happen I know nobody knows what's happening in the future, but they act proactively to ensure if anything happens, they are already ready for it. So they don't react to what's happening by. Some of them don't even watch the news. right? And constantly educating ourselves to ensure that we have the industry knowledge in whatever investment we are doing, and also ensuring we're having appropriate people working with us to actually resolve any issue that may happen in the future. And again, if this video is making sense, share it to family and friends, and obviously hit the like button below as well. The fifth thing is poor people look for active income. Okay, they're always looking for the next job. They're always looking for the next promotion. They're always looking for changing locations. Probably if they go to another location, they would make a lot more money getting a job in that area. Whereas for passive income, we look for recurring income. So we've got that mindset. So instead of looking for where we work, we look for where we can invest in and get return on investment infinity, right? So that's how we think about it. We don't say, oh, probably there's a good employers in that area, so I'm going to go and get a job there. So what we do, we're going to say, oh, there's a good employers in that area. Instead of going to look for a job, we say, oh, we're going to go and buy a property there, because we know when we bought that property, those employers will rent that property, and then obviously that would help generate us passive income. So you have to create that mindset. And what we do, we look for assets that generates us income rather than assets that are liabilities. Okay, we look for things that will generate income for us, so that we know we've got that passive income. Whether we work, we don't do anything, we keep having recurring income coming to us all the time. The sixth thing also that makes the difference between poor and the rich people: poor people buy depreciating assets. Okay, they buy depreciating assets. What do I mean by they buy cars, expensive trainers, jeans, shirts, whatever it is. They buy things that doesn't bring them money. Okay, they buy things that they only use, and then it doesn't bring any money back to them. Maybe paying expensive holidays, buying expensive gifts, just spending money in things that don't bring them money. And also some of them save, not all of them, but some poor people save. And guess what? They save that money thinking, oh, I've got lots of money now. But what the bank is doing basically is using their own money, invest it, make a lot of money from that. And they sat there thinking, oh, they're saving and I've got lots of money, not thinking inflation has eaten into all their savings. Whereas the rich people, what they do, they buy appreciating assets, right? Rich people would never, ever buy an asset that doesn't bring them money, right? And it brings them money. And also, they don't even pay for whatever loan they've done, they have brought against that asset. So again, they buy those assets because those assets appreciate in value. You would never ever see a rich person buy an asset that doesn't bring them money. It always needs to bring them money before they see it as a viable investment proposal. So these are the difference. So if you're one of those who always buy things that depreciate in value, that doesn't add value to you, so you need to start thinking about how you could use that same energy, but you move it into buying assets that would give you income rather than buying things that would actually depreciate in value. So very, very important for you to bear that in mind. The difference also is poor find a creative way to spend money. Okay, they find creative way to spend money. What do I mean by this? They literally spend the money before they get their paycheck, right? Before they get their wage. So what they do, they think about buying an expensive cloth or an expensive dress or an expensive shoe that just came out, or trainers, before they even get the money. They always have to find a way to spend that money. Okay, I was in that position, by the way, don't get me wrong, right? I was in that position. I used to think about the next expensive trainers, the next expensive jean, or the next expensive hat, stuff like that, or where I can go on holiday, or the next expensive friend I can get, right? That I can hang around with, so I can feel big, comfortable, and all that sort of thing. So I was a victim in that sense. But what I've done basically is to change that mindset. Instead of finding creative way to spend money, now I find creative way to make money by buying asset properties, buy to let, HMO, rent to service accommodation. So I can invest my money there, even if I've got 5,000-10,000, whatever amount is, I invest in it instead of buying expensive stuff that don't really add value to me. So I find creative way that I could work with people that would generate me income. Maybe it could be buying a property, converting it into HMO by getting investors to invest with me so I can give them a return on their investment whilst I create my own asset class. So, and again, these are the sort of way us, the rich people, do to actually generate income in a massive way in the long run. The eighth difference between the poor and the rich is the poor blame and victimize themselves. So what do I mean? If something goes wrong, instead of taking responsibility, they find someone to blame. They could either blame the government, their family, their brothers. They will just find someone to blame, right? They don't take the responsibility, and they also victimize themselves so that people will feel sorry for them, okay? So, and again, so when people feel sorry for them, they then get comfortable and then start doing nothing, basically. They just sat there, do nothing. So they always shy away and find someone as a scapegoat to actually actually get blamed and all that sort of thing. And the worst thing is they don't believe in themselves, right? One thing is, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else would believe in you, right? So that's the mindset they have. And I had this mindset before, right? I never believed in myself. I thought about my accent, where I'm from, all that sort of thing. So I had that limiting belief in myself, but I was able to transform that to the rich mindset, where I think about myself being a victor. I have that victor mindset. I tell myself I can do it. I'm an action taker. I am relentless. I'm committed, and I am persistent. So stuff like that. So I tell things like that to myself, and now it becomes a nature to me. So I believe I can do whatever I want to do in my life. Nobody would stop me. And the most important thing I stopped doing also is to blame people. I don't blame anybody else now. I take responsibilities for my action. Right? I take responsibility for my financial freedom. So that's what the rich people do. They don't blame people. They don't blame anybody else, and they take responsibility for their financial freedom. So they don't leave it to anybody else, right? I implement that. That has changed my life drastically. My financial freedom is my duty, my obligation, and my responsibility. So these are vital, important things that you need to take away. If you've been thinking the opposite, now it's about time to take responsibility. Stop blaming yourself, or stop actually victimizing yourself or blaming others. Whatever happened, even if it's not your fault, right? Try to find a way to take responsibility and find a way to change it. Because if you change something, if you resolve a problem, it would absolutely give you a better return in investment as well as pleasure, right? Your psychologically will improve, and your mindset will become broader, wider, and you'll be absolutely amazing person. So take the responsibilities of your future. Don't allow anybody else to dictate your future, your financial freedom, and the way you control your finances. Make sure that is your responsibility and your duty and obligation to actually do it. It is not just for you, it's for your family, for your extended family, for your community, and for the people surrounding you. One word I've heard from one of the wealthy people, well, I can't remember his name, he said, to born poor is not a crime, or it's not bad, but it's to die poor, it's your responsibility. So basically, if you're born poor, it's not your responsibility, but to die poor is your responsibility. So if you've been procrastinating about actually taking the next step to better yourself, I think it's about time for you to sit back, think about it, believe in yourself, believe you can do it, take the action and implement and take responsibilities about your financial freedom. I really hope this video has been helpful. And if this has been helpful, share it with family and friends. Hit the like button below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of these amazing videos. I really look forward to sharing the next video. Thank you so much for listening.